Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Jamuna Tira Vanasari Jamuna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Gaura Pimanande. Jayam Sipad Paramahamsa Tri Prajgachaja Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandibiti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namasarya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaura Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhuttade Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutirivi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesa bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttama Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasthayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Sarabhyai Namaha Om Sarabhyai Namaha Om Sarabhyai Namaha Mukam Karoti Vasaram Pangum Langayate Girim Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome everyone to our morning Bhagavatam class. And we are continuing to read from they used to go like this in the olden days, huh? Or sometimes they would hang it there. Continuing from Canto 1, Chapter 7, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Today is text number 23. Okay. Tvam Ajyaha Purushaha Saksad Ishvaraha Prakritehe Paraha Mayam Vyudasya Chich Chaktya Kaivalye Stita Atmani Tvam Madhya Purusha Sakshad Ishvara Prakrite Paraha Mayam Vyudasya Chakstya Kaivalye Stita Atmani Tvam Madhya Purusha Sakshad Ishvara Prakrite Paraha Mayam Vyudasya Chaktya Kaivalye Stita Atmani Tvam Madhya Purusha Sakshad Ishvara Prakrite Paraha Mayam Vyudasya Chaktya Kaivalye Stita Atmani
Swamadhya Purusha Sakshat Ishvara Prakrite Paraha Mayam Udyasati Chakya Kaivalye Stita Atmani Tamadya Purusha Sakshat
Ishvara Prakrite
Paraha
Mayang Vyudasya Chipchakya Kaivalye Stita
Atmani Tam Adda Purusha Sakshat Ishvara Prakriti Paraha Mayam Vidusha Sakshat
Mayang Vyudasya Chipchakya
Kaivalya Stita Atmani
Kaivalye Stita Atmani
Tvam Adyaha. You are the original. Purushaha, the enjoying personality. Sakshat, directly. Ishvaraha, the controller. Prakritehe, of material nature. Paraha, transcendental. Mayam, the material energy. Vyudasya, one who has thrown aside. Chit Shaktya, by dint of internal potency. Kaivalye, in pure eternal knowledge and bliss. Stitaha, placed. Atmani, own self. Translation. And purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
You are the original personality of Godhead who expands Himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You're always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Kindly repeat after me. You are the original personality of Godhead
You are the original personality of Godhead
who expands Himself
who expands himself
all over the creations
all over the creations
and is transcendental
and is transcendental
to material energy.
to material energy.
You have cast away
You have cast away
the effects of the material energy
the effects of the material energy
by dint of your spiritual potency.
by dint of your spiritual potency.
You're always situated
You are always situated
in eternal bliss
in eternal bliss
and transcendental knowledge.
and transcendental knowledge.
The Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita that one who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord can get release from the clutches of nescience. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya, or material existence, is just like darkness. Whenever there is the light of the sun, darkness or ignorance at once vanishes. The best means to get out of the world of ignorance is suggested here. The Lord is addressed herein as the original personality of Godhead. From Him, all other personalities of Godhead expand. The all-pervasive Lord Vishnu is Lord Krishna's plenary portion or expansion. The Lord expands Himself in innumerable forms of Godhead and living beings, along with His different energies. But Sri Krishna is the original primeval Lord from whom everything emanates. The all-pervasive feature of the Lord, experienced within the manifested world, is also a partial representation of the Lord. Paramatma, therefore, is included within Him. He is the absolute personality of Godhead. He has nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material manifestation because He is far above the material creation. Darkness is a perverse representation of the sun, and therefore the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness. As the sun is full of light only, similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead beyond the material existence is full of bliss. He is not only full of bliss, but also full of transcendental variegatedness. Transcendence is not at all static, but full of dynamic variegatedness. He is distinct from the material nature, which is complicated by the three modes of material nature. He is Parama, or the chief. And therefore, he is absolute. He has manifold energies, and through his diverse energies, he creates, manifests, maintains, and destroys the material world. In his own abode, however, everything is eternal and absolute. The world is not conducted by the energies and powerful agents by themselves, but by the potent, all-powerful, with all energies. Translation again, we are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You're always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Mm. So this is the ongoing lila of Ashvatthama being chased by Arjuna, and Arjuna finding himself in a very oh yes Arjuna finding himself in difficulty. Difficulty means seeing the Brahmastra weapon irresponsibly released by Ashvatthama is offering prayers to Krishna and asking for his uh, support. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is especially nicely explaining how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the origin of all energies, one of the 10 tattvas. Everything is based on tattva. Tattva means understanding the truth about matter, understanding the absolute truth about both the spiritual energy, understanding the truth about the material energy, and also the marginal energy. They are the three main energies. And what is being nicely conveyed here, of course, as explained also in the Bhagavad Gita, is that to become protected from the negative influence of the material energy, then we must take shelter of the internal energy. Krishna is the source of that internal energy. He is also the source of the external energy. He is the source of all energies. And that is described in the Bhagavad Gita as, yeah, you can watch it there, or as the Mohini Prakriti and the Daivi Prakriti. Mogasha Mogakarmano Mogagyana Vichetasa Raksasim Asurim Chaiva Mohinim Prakritim Sritaha. The conditioned living entity, Baddha Jeev, conditioned by the modes of material nature, is constantly defeated, actually, in the material world because he is baffled by the influence of the three modes of material nature. And in order to become relieved from this situation, we need to take shelter of Krishna's internal energy, which is, of course, um, expressed in activities of bhakti or devotional service, pure devotional service. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains about uh, just like in the material world, there's so much of variegatedness. And actually, everyone is attracted also to this variegatedness. It's just like we don't eat the same food every day. We prepare varieties of food, isn't it? We offer varieties of food to the Lord. So this variegatedness actually exists in the material world because it originates from the spiritual world. So there's unlimited variegatedness in the spiritual world. And that's why when we are uh, fortunate to uh, begin to understand this variegatedness that is there, then the whole idea of, you know, impersonalism, Mayavad philosophy becomes very uh, unattractive. Actually, not only it becomes attractive, but it becomes very, uh, mm, very distasteful, and the pure devotee, uh, our Vaishnav acharyas have underlined this again and again. Those who are on that level of pure devotional service, uh, they this was demonstrated many, many times by Srila Prabhupada. They are very, um, very much, uh, what is the word? Mm. In one sense, they are very disturbed by those who preach this philosophy, uh, that we are the same as God, we are God ourselves, because ultimately that is the Mayavad philosophy. We have simply temporarily forgotten that we are God. But so we merge with God, we become one with God, but there's no activity, there is no variety. Whereas in the philosophy, which is nicely presented by our various Vaishnavacharyas and which has nicely been, uh, we could say, summarized and elaborated at a level never actually seen before, or at least not recently. Uh, what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given uh, is actually opening the doors to this unlimited variegatedness. Uh, so we can begin to experience actually this variegatedness. Um, just like Prabhupada, he would say, just like in the foreign countries, when two people from India meet, what do? They start talking about India. Where are you from? What's your, profession? And and sometimes actually people find out, oh, I know somebody from that place, or actually I'm also from there. Oh, we're relatives. uh, People, when they meet, they try to establish, especially if they're from the same country, all kinds of what they have in common, isn't it? So, in a similar way, we as individual spirit souls, we should be eager to know one another, because we're from the same desha, we're from the same country, we're from ultimately, originally, the spiritual world. We are eternally uh, the Amai Vangsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, the eternal parts and parcels of the Lord, and we belong to Krishna's family. So this is the most attractive and the most interesting, but also the most difficult. Getting to know others, getting to appreciate others requires an effort actually on both individuals, and this is the beginning. This is the foundation actually of our Vaishnav philosophy. This is the cultivation of what is termed by our Vaishnavacharyas and very, very much elaborated upon by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the knowledge of relationship, sambandha jnana, sambandha jnana. And if we are not able to actually develop this sambandha jnana, if we're not able to cultivate sambandha jnana, means interacting between ourselves as devotees, then it becomes difficult, if not even impossible, to proceed further. It's like when two people are friends, they like to do things together and they can achieve whatever goal and objective they set. So in a similar way, this is the big challenge for all of us actually in the material world. This sambandha gyan cannot be properly established if we are overly influenced and overly conditioned by these modes of material nature, isn't it? Therefore, proper Vaishnava relationships begin with sambandha gyan, that effort on the part of individuals to interact and to appreciate one another. And this is not at all possible if we are heavily influenced by the modes of material nature. So that means that it is incumbent upon each individual devotee to really work on minimizing the influence of the modes of material nature, isn't it? And how do we do this? Of course, this is all explained, especially in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, by by hearing the narrations that are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing how the workings of the different energies of the Lord, and especially by appreciating Krishna's nature and Krishna's position. That even when he descends in the material world, he remains totally unaffected by these modes of material nature. And as Krishna also confirms in the Bhagavad Gita, whoever understands and appreciates Krishna in this way, whoever knows and understands about his appearance, his transcendental appearance, his transcendental activities, janma karma samit divyam, evam joveti tattvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam eti, so Arjuna will actually become freed or liberated from the material world. So Arjuna, as an eternal associate of Lord Krishna, as an intimate friend and pure devotee, he fully understands Krishna's position, and he is offering these prayers to Lord Krishna, glorifying him, and stating how the Lord is always situated in his transcendental position and never affected by the influence of the modes of material nature. What number was that? 20? Huh? 23, huh? Okay, 23 that we read. Yes. So therefore, just to repeat here the translation, uh, Arjuna speaking, you are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material nature. You have cast away the effects of material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. Uh, you are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. So, by the spiritual potency, the Lord is constantly, eternally situated in his internal spiritual potency. And similarly, we, as eternal spirit souls, the more we also become situated in our spiritual nature, original nature, the more, in other words, we take shelter of the Daivi Prakriti. Uh, Therefore, as the Lord is always exhibiting these qualities and nature of Satchit Ananda and Vigraha, similarly, the spirit soul, living entity, the more he uh, surrounds himself by this internal spiritual energy. Not easy, huh? Not easy dealing with the material energy. Our second attempt here. So we also will demonstrate or exhibit these feelings of, or this nature of Satchit Ananda. We will know ourselves to be different from this body as eternal spirit souls. Sat Chit, we will gradually, by the mercy of Krishna, become more and more self-realized. We will actually acquire transcendental knowledge that is called Dibya Gyan. Evam prasanamanaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vijnanam, tattva, bhagavat tattva. So the more we associate with bhagavat tattva by practical demonstration every single day in our activities, which begins at what time? 4 o'clock is the time Prabhupada told us we have to get up by 4 o'clock so that we can make it for 4:30 Mangalarti. Most temples have Mangalarti at 4:30. Ours is at 5 o'clock. One day we'll adjust that, but right now it's 5 o'clock. So in other words, a devotee begins his day with Mangala Arati, Mangala, auspicious. And most people begin their day with Amangala, inauspiciousness. Yeah. No contact and no activity whatsoever. And sometimes that becomes a danger, even for devotees who, if not cautious, begin to slacken and maybe not regularly attend Mangalarti, not regularly attend Srimad Bhagavatam class, not regularly chant their rounds. So the more this happens, the more we lose our connection actually with Krishna's internal potency, and the more Maya is pulling. Maya has a great pulling power. So therefore, to remain, to keep ourselves fit, to be protected, to remain protected, Prabhupada mentions actually if we don't chant 16 rounds a day, then Maya will take us away. If we don't chant 16 rounds a day, Maya will take us away. Because Maya is very strong, and therefore that is the minimum as given to us by Srila Prabhupada to remain protected from the influence of Maya and to be praying to Krishna to always actually help us be situated in activities of devotional service. And in this way, we can be pleasing, satisfying Krishna and his devotees, and we can gradually make more and more spiritual advancement. So this is the beginning, actually. Um, actually, the second prayer. Yesterday we also read, and there's a few more texts that are coming before Krishna will give his response. Mm. Actually, when we read these transcendental literatures, like the Bhagavatam, and also hear from so many of our great uh, Vaishnavacharyas, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, which is heavily supported, so many references are there in the Shastra, is a very clear-cut philosophy and is giving individuals the highest hope. Without this knowledge, we actually remain hopeless and naturally frustrated dealing with the material energy that we cannot overcome or conquer by our own means. So Prabhupada gives that quote, Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like the sun. Maya hai andakar, and Maya is andakar or darkness or ignorance. So we get that experience every day. When we attend Mangalarti, especially in the wintertime, it's dark. Now the light is there, but we don't see the sun immediately. Of course, now the sun rises uh, before 5 o'clock, 4:49 actually, to be precise. And now we're in the month of June. So by what is the longest day of the year? 21. Yeah, 21 of June. So that means after the 21st, we have only like 2 more weeks approximately, where the sun will rise early, and then the sun will start moving south, right? Yeah. And the days will become shorter and shorter. So any comments or questions on our verse this morning?
I would like to ask that the topic is the birth of Parikshit Maharaj.
The topic is
Birth
about
of
Parikshit Maharaj, yes.
So what could be the intention of the speaker? Because he could start in any time, any situation. Like, okay, he was protected by Krishna in this situation, so he goes much before. He goes back to in the time of the main happenings which Parikshit Maharaj really influenced a lot. So why he's coming back and why he start his speech in the last intense moment of the Mahabharata? What is the intention? What we can understand from that if we analyze the speaker's mood of intention? You know, you start introduction, so and you decide how much introduction you will put. Like you have chantings, you have prayers before the Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
You have intention, but other persons have different prayers. So here Sutta Goswami have it's kind of prayers before he start the main topic.
Right.
So how he prepare the main topic? What is his teachings in these parts which we can which we listen and we become qualified to understand the real nature of Parikshit.
Mm.
What are the points here which we want to connect our consciousness to Parikshit's understanding, to understand Parikshit?
Mm. What are the points that Shukadev Goswami wants us to understand?
Sutta. But anyway,
Um, Sutta Goswami, rather, yeah. Mm. Well, one of them, I would say, is because we have already read, we already know that Parikshit actually was directly protected by Krishna within the womb. So, in these prayers um, that are being narrated, uh, the emphasis is being given to the uh, transcendental nature of Krishna. That Krishna is uh, eternally situated in his internal energy, that Krishna is the all powerful, and that so the more we can appreciate the greatness of Krishna, then we will uh, be able to understand that he performed this miracle, we could say, of actually protecting Parikshit Maharaj within the womb. That's mm, uh, that's one aspect I think that is.
if I would be a Christian,
If I were a Christian,
if I would be a Christian,
yes,
I would just expect that the miracles Lord saved or teacher saved his life in the womb of his mother, like the miracles God saved Jesus Christ from this rascal who wanted to kill every child because he heard that one child would be the next emperor.
right,
So he just ordered to anyone who birth in this time, he just had to, kill.
right.
And our Lord protected Jesus Christ by hiding him in some remote place like that. So that would be enough for a
Mm,
Christian mentality. But here we hear more, not just a saving story, but we go back further. It's so important to know before the story happens, because the most interesting part happens for the passionate listener,
mm,
to know these prayers when Arjuna is in danger, but he is not start to deal with the danger, but he's just start to have some philosophical prayers.
right.
It's quite not usual.
Uh-huh. um,
So maybe we have to hear much more about Krishna's unique and special
well,
supreme.
he spoke. I think there are 3 or 4 verses where he's offering prayers. Um, I mean, it's in the form of prayers, but he's basically it's like if some big danger is there, and you want to, the time is there to consult with somebody who can help out, then um, then you'll speak to that person, and of course, because Krishna is not an ordinary person, then um, in this particular case, Arjuna is um, is glorifying, we could say glorifying or explaining Krishna's nature. Um, that's I think it's natural in that position because Krishna understands um that when there is calamity, than somebody like only somebody like Krishna who has these different qualities. I mean, maybe we would not do it. We
Yeah,
would,
that's the question.
right?
Why we not do it when we have a calamity, and we start these prayers, and then ask, please, Krishna, show me some way to get out from this calamity. But we not. We just immediately ask, join the Simhadev,
Yes.
and we
So
somehow,
that's the difference between Arjuna and us.
yeah,
Um, um, I mean, that is the we, the mindset of personalities who are on that level. Um, a small child who doesn't have so much of developed consciousness will just, faced with danger, will just shout and cry out, isn't it? But someone who is more developed in consciousness, then, well, as the example is given here, he'll take some time. Okay, the third one, third attempt beginning. He'll take some time to say a few words like Arjuna is doing.
so maybe that is the reason why we have to come every day some program which create this understanding in our stupid mind every day come back to that consciousness that if any calamity will come in daytime, then we remember at least the Mangala prayers,
Right.
and then we use them, and then we go into the interaction prayers or anything to solve the problem. So looks like it's have a kind of connection. We are not Arjuna, but if every day we do that, we become like
Yeah, yeah.
naturally almost the same.
Synchronized,
Yeah,
kind of like,
synchronized. Yeah,
yeah.
until we are not spontaneous devotee.
Right, right. Um,
Maybe we have some other type of attraction to Krishna or Krishna Katha, but still that is, it's not affecting. We cannot say that I love only Krishna Vrindavan pastime, so I don't come to morning program because it's far from the pastime.
right.
So I think as sadhakas, or maybe we are Brahmanugas, but still we need that morning tuning up
Yes,
program.
yes. I mean, we hear how in the pastime of mm, the elephant,
Gajendra.
Gajendra. Yes, that's a nice illustration of a living entity who, in the body of an elephant, in times of danger, offered prayers. Remember, was able to remember prayers that he had uh,
No.
learned in previous. So the point you're making, yeah, is quite valid. No, okay. Uh, yeah, you keep it. I have another. Yeah, so therefore the importance of regularly associating ourselves with the hearing process, and in the Vedic system of Gurukula, that is why this aspect of memorization is also uh, is, is stressed upon. For the first few years, actually, in Gurukul, uh, although from a Western perspective, people from the West, they cannot understand why they're just learning something they don't even understand. They're learning something they don't understand because this is the time, the best time that they can learn and grasp and memorize. And then gradually they will be coming back to this and then understanding it. And so therefore this aspect of memorization, especially, which is of course hearing, uh, is is essential in the Vedic culture, and has that type of effect that it will um, make an impression. It will make a permanent impression. Prabhupada mentions, right? Whatever activities, whatever percentage of Krishna consciousness, whatever advancement in devotional service that we make remains a permanent asset. And on a number of occasions, Prabhupada would elaborate on this, how this is like, even if one doesn't really understand uh, what he is doing, he still gets the benefit uh, because devotional activities are of that nature. Of course, the more we do things with attention and conscientiously, then uh, the more benefit we get. So yes, that is part. This aspect of hearing is part of our sadhana in the beginning. Memorization is also part of sadhana for those who are of Gurukul age, and in this way, it sinks in more and more, and then um, it becomes like it becomes an eternal asset for us, both in this life and also the next life. Yeah.
So here, Arjuna is also his friend of Krishna, but still in public he start always like a prayers like a little child goes to the father first time and he bow down and touch the feet of the parents and then pray some nice words and then they are
Yes,
embracing. So
correct.
it's all same Mongol Arati is like we go to the father, bow down, touch the feet
Yes,
of Guru Maharaj, touch the feet of Gauranga, and then we can
yes, yes,
have some relationship
yes,
continuing.
yes.
And because we are not grown up in this culture, then the little child just
Yes,
immediately goes and bows down and then touch the feet of the parents, and then he asks,
yes.
"Okay, can we play together
Uh,
today?"
good, something.
So
Correct.
that's we need to imprint
Yes, yes,
with the Mongol Arati.
yes, yes,
Otherwise, we never really respect full-heartedly
yes.
the elders and
Krishna consciousness begins at Mangalarati,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. That sets the, the mood for the whole day. If we attend Mangalarati, and depends on the consciousness
Yeah,
in
keep
which
that
we attend
conscious.
Mangalarati also, of course. Yeah. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki,
Yeah,
Jai Sri Prabhupada ki.
yeah.
Looks like we're gonna have another hot day today. Anyways, let me find